Okay, Dragon Ball Daima episodes 7 and 8 are out. 8 came out today. I didn't do a review last week for 7 just because I felt like episode 7 didn't have a lot going on for it. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to skip this review. I'll combine it with my episode 8 review the following week. And here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of briefly cover what did happen in episode 7. There was a little bit of action. You know, they were fighting Goma's police force or whatever. There just wasn't a lot else that happened. We did learn a little bit about Kachintai, that the hardest metal, if you remember from Dragon Ball Z, Supreme Kai used it to test the Z-Sword. And when Goku threw it, it's what ended up breaking the Z-Sword. That's how hard of a metal it is. So the collars that the people of the Third Demon World wear are made of that material. And these collars can be used to track them. But Supreme Kai was just, he just did this spell and managed to break it immediately and break the collar off of Pansy, who had one, of course. So, and she's like, is this just something that Glenn can do? And he's like, oh no, anybody can learn the spell. So that's actually pretty cool. I think that, we'll probably see that come to fruition later in the series where like all the people of the Third Demon World are freed. Episode 7 was really just largely build up to episode 8. We still hadn't questioned, what was truly going on with Glorio and Arinsu, what their endgame was, what exactly they want, what is Glorio to Arinsu, and so on. And we get a few more of those answers, not all of them, we get a few more of those answers in episode 8. And they were heading to a village where Tamagami number 3, yes, and I assume, the numbers are going to correspond with the Demon Worlds, 3, then 2, then 1. Guarding the Dragon Balls. I don't know if I said this in a previous review. I did, realize that, I was wrong in the earlier reviews, that the larger Dragon Balls that we saw earlier were holograms. I'm sure other people figured that out before I did. I thought those were the actual Dragon Balls, and they were just big. They're not. The Dragon Balls are inside the Tamagami, which I noticed like a week or two ago, but I was just like, I kind of wanted them to be big so that they were starkly different from other Dragon Balls. But anyways, the Tamagami have the Dragon Balls within them. Goku's going to fight Tamagami number 3 in episode 7. Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma are joining, what's his name, Hybis? Which is that little round guy that the Third Demon World King sent to retrieve them. I thought Kibito went with them, but I guess he didn't because he's like not in the ship or whatever with them. So I just, so now I'm, once again wondering, are Shin and Kibito going to recombine at any point to explain this plot hole that was there in Super? Like, is this going to get explained at all? But anyways, the most important thing to me that we learned in episode 7 was Shin's real name, which is Nahare, which is his proper Glend name. So there is that, which I think is a pretty cool name, but now we know his real name is not Shin, it's just the name he uses in the outside world. Now moving on, Goku begins his fight with Tamagami number 3, and it's a spectacular fight. It's the first real fight I feel like we got in the series. I mean, Goku and Glorio was cool, but they were still just sort of feeling each other out. This was the first, like, legit fight to me. The Tamagami can throw down, but I did confirm, they're nowhere near as strong as Majin Buu. I had been wondering, I was like, are they comparable to Majin Buu? Are they weaker? Are they stronger? They're definitely not as strong as Majin Buu. And my evidence for that is the fight itself. Because, I'm not a pro power scaler, but you can tell, Goku's heavily nerfed in this childlike form, and it still only took regular Super Saiyan in his nerfed form to beat this Tamagami. So, and even though he fired off a Kamehameha near the end, I still don't think he was going completely full out. So, yeah, they're undoubtedly weaker than Majin Buu. That is without question. This, again, takes place like 4 months after the defeat of Kid Buu. So, up to this point, Kid Buu is currently still the strongest enemy they have faced up to this point. I don't know if an enemy they will face by the end of Daima will be stronger. We will see. But the fight was amazing. I thought it was excellently done, beautifully animated, and had one of the most visually spectacular Kamehamehas we've seen, maybe ever in Dragon Ball. It was very, very well done. If you haven't seen the episode yet, then one, why are you here? Because this review has spoilers. And two, go watch it. It's awesome. I've been on Reddit and like Twitter and stuff. I've seen so many people talk about how they had serious reservations about Daima. And those reservations are completely gone since they started watching it. Which is so cool to see. Because it's like, you don't want to be a dick and be like, I told you so, but I told you so. Us who were excited for Daima, we kept saying, it's like, well, just give it a chance. It's like, yeah, there's a chance it may suck, but give it a chance. It's Toriyama's last work. Toriyama is still the man who gave us Dragon Ball. This is his last work that is completely his story. You give it a chance and you may be surprised. And everybody was surprised. The detractors have mostly been proven wrong. Now, I'm not saying everybody who had reservations about Daima are enjoying it, because I've seen some very small handful of people online who aren't caring for it, but I've seen more people who have, interestingly, admitted that they were wrong about Daima, and that they're actually really enjoying it, which is excellent to see. It's I did tell you so, but it's not about that. It's about that I'm just happy that these people had the opportunity to be wrong and are getting to enjoy something they didn't think they would enjoy. So that's really cool. Again, the Tamagami fight was excellently done. And I thought this was going to be the meat of the episode, and it, in a way was, but this was a good episode. Episode 8 was a good episode. A lot happened. This was probably the most important episode we've gotten so far in terms of like things about the plot are finally starting to swirl around and take shape. So, and what I mean by that is, so Goku defeats the Tamagami yields, he's like, I acknowledge, your power, I recognize how strong you are, this fight's over. But there's like one more test they have to do, and so he pulls the magic trick with like the ball and the cups and stuff. It's a really old magic trick. I think people have been practicing that trick for maybe centuries, I'm not sure, but it's very old. It's a very old magic trick. And Goku has to, guess which cup the Dragon Ball is under, and he gets the Dragon Ball. Well, Goku being, we know in Dragon Ball your power level is also tied to like your speed often. If your power level is really high, you're going to be really freaking fast. Of course, there are times where you can be really fast, but your overall power level is not really high. But it doesn't seem to go the other way, where your power level's high, but you're not very fast. Unless, you're like Trunks and you went into the Super Trunks form, you got real bulky and shit. But the general rule of thumb, with some exceptions, is that if you got a high power level, you're really fast. And you can see things that are moving really fast as long as they're slower than you. The Tamagami is slower than Goku is. So Goku could see everything he was doing, and he immediately knew the Tamagami threw the Dragon Ball away, like off back behind Goku. So he's like, make your guess which cup it's under, and Goku's like, it's back there. it's back there behind me. And Tamagami just kind of smirks and agrees to give Goku the Dragon Ball, wishes him luck with the other Tamagamis. So we have the 3-star Demon Realm Dragon Ball now. And Goku's like the first one who's done this in centuries. In a very, very, very long time. Managed to beat one of the Tamagami and retrieve one of the Dragon Balls. We did, right after, see Glorio contact Arinsu again. And tell her they've gotten one of the Dragon Balls. And, she's like, good job, whatever. So that gives us a little bit of insights into what her goal, at least part of her goal, seems to be. She, and Glorio has kind of conned Goku would have wanted to find the Dragon Balls anyways, but Glorio's, feeling like he conned Goku into looking for the Dragon Balls, because that's what he was supposed to do anyways. You know, Arinsu wanted Goku to retrieve the Dragon Balls because she believed Goku was strong enough because she'd been keeping up with the events on Earth during the Buu saga. So, now we did learn some very interesting things. And we cut like to Goma and to Degasu, and they're watching the events of the Buu saga again. They're like they're really studying like what happened to understand. You know, it's probably one of those cases where they want to understand their enemies. You know, they're watching like Vegeta's sacrifice when he tried to blow up Buu, and Buu just regenerated. And when Buu was regenerating, they notice someone in the background, and they zoom in, and it's Arinsu, and it looks like she's collecting Buu's essence before he completely reforms, like a little strand, like a little piece of Majin Buu in like a bottle. Now, that's interesting, and it's one of those like little plot twists that leads to more plot twists, because Arinsu, now we know Arinsu was present on Earth at the time of the Buu saga when Vegeta blew himself up and Buu reformed. Now we know she was there, and she collected part of Majin Buu. So there was a little part of him gone. Obviously not enough to make a big difference, but she collected some of his essence. So now Goma is going to be suspicious of Arinsu because he doesn't know what she's up to. We go to Arinsu, and she's at this like hut in a forest in the Demon Realm with some witch named Marba. First thing I noticed, she has the Majin M on her clothes. Marba does, the witch. And she, they're like making this, stirring like witch stuff, stirring like a cauldron or whatever. And Marba adds the Majin Buu essence to this cauldron. And we learn that they are trying to create a new Majin, and that they have been trying to do so for, it seems like maybe a while, but they just haven't been successful. So Arinsu doesn't seem able to do it herself, but they are trying to create new Majins. And we got some more lore tidbits in this segment. We learned that the Glend left the Demon Realm because of Majin Buu. Because when Marba, and we learned that Marba is the one that made him. And and Marba tries to deny it. She's like, no, Bibbidi made Majin Buu. You know that. Arinsu's like, yeah, I ain't fucking stupid. Like, Bibbidi didn't have that kind of juice. You're the one that did it. And she finally, more or less comes clean. And, she talks about how Majin Buu was insanely powerful but uncontrollable. And, they talk about how he wreaked havoc on the Demon Realm. That's why the Glend left. They left because of Majin Buu. Again, this was a millennia or more ago. So, a few Glen did stay behind, and some Glen died, but that's why they initially left the Demon Realm. At least that's the context that this episode put it in, was that it was because of Majin Buu. So, they're stirring this cauldron. They're doing it outside because they're trying to create a new Majin. So, it seems the end game is to create a new Majin that Arinsu can control. If it's controllable, I'm inclined to think it won't be as powerful as the original Majin Buu. It's like this big, moment where they reveal that Marba's the one that created Buu. They focus in on the Majin M on her clothes. It's actually a really cool, sort of cinematic moment, almost. I wish this was one of the episodes that was in theaters, to be honest. I feel like this would have been, and I mean, 8 episodes would have been a lot to sit through in theaters. I know people would have done it, but had they ended on this episode in the theatrical run, this would have been the episode to hook people in and be like, okay, I've got to watch this series because this is getting interesting. This might have been my favorite episode so far because of the plot reveals of what's actually going on. The Dragon Balls seem to be a backup plan for Arinsu. It seems like, she wants to overthrow Goma and become the supreme Demon King of the Demon Realm, or Demon Queen? She said Demon King? I don't know, but she wants to overthrow Goma. Marba warns her, don't underestimate Goma. He's no slouch. He's powerful. He's probably got powerful magic or whatever. And I'm sure we'll probably see Goma in action before the series is over. And Marba tells Arinsu to like add her spit, her saliva, to this potion, this concoction or whatever, so that she can basically telepathically control the new Majin without having to speak. So she does. It seems like it's going to work. So her plan A seems to be make a new controllable Majin that can help her take control of the Demon Realm. Plan B seems to be use the Dragon Balls somehow. We know she wants to use the Dragon Balls as Plan B. We just don't know exactly what her wish will be. You know, Marva's like, what you can't get the Dragon Balls? No one's ever been able to do that in like a long time. And Arinsu tells her, it's like, I've already got pawns on the board. You know, I've already got pawns in play that are doing it for me. They've already got one. Obviously talking about Goku. Obviously Goku doesn't know that that Glorio's a double agent. He doesn't know that they're collecting the Dragon Balls and Arinsu plans to take them from him. But to me, this is extremely interesting. The idea of creating a new Majin. Things are going to get spicy in this series. I can already tell. Now, we cut to like Hibis, Vegeta, Piccolo, Bulma. They're still flying, trying to meet up with Goku and them. And they get a call from the third Demon King. And he tells them, you know, Goku beat the Tamagami, got the Dragon Ball. Which I guess this is the first Vegeta and them have heard about there being Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm. Because Vegeta's like, wait, are there Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm too? And then Hibis, you know, is like, you know, wait, you said two. Does that mean there's Dragon Balls on Earth too? Vegeta gets a little pushy, wants him to tell him more, and Hibis just like ignores him and puts him in his place. And Vegeta asks him what's wrong, and Hibis is like, you sound really arrogant for someone who's not a king. He's like, you're not a king, but you speaking real arrogantly. So I chose to ignore you. You know. So then Vegeta is forced to say please, and we kind of leave off with Bulma getting a little chuckle. But they're now supposed to turn around, go back to Warp, and meet Goku, Glorio, Shin or Nahare, however you want to call him now, and Pansy at Warp as they prepare to go to the second Demon World. Now that their business in the third is done, they got the Dragon Ball, they can head to the second. I think episode 7, if I had to rank it, 6 or 7 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. It was okay. This episode I think was easily a 9, maybe a 9.5 out of 10. I don't know if it was quite a 10 out of 10. It was definitely like a 9.5, at least a 9 out of 10. Episode 8 was. Last week's episode, I was like, this episode's just But I'm re-excited. I'm excited again with episode 8, and I'm excited to see what happens in episode 9. I just want Vegeta and them to catch up. I'm tired of waiting for them to catch up. I need mini Goku and mini Vegeta interactions. I need them now. I don't want to wait episodes and episodes and episodes in to get that. But anyways, that's my Dragon Ball Daima episodes 7 and 8 review. Let me know if I forgot to mention anything. I can bring it up in my next review, sorry. Also, I just finished my first episode in what I hope will become a series of videos called Myths, Folklore, and Anime. It's about the Supreme Kais. So if you're enjoying Daima, you're enjoying the in-universe lore of the Supreme Kais, you want to know what Toriyama's inspiration may have been, what his real-world inspiration may have been for creating the Kais, check that video out. I'll link it at the end of this video as well as in the description. So check that video out, the inspiration behind the Kais, the true origins of the Kais. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any uploads. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.